Respiratory and cough etiquette. Very important. What do you do daily? Do you guys clean your rooms? Disinfection of the rooms. Huh? Environmental cleaning. Okay? These are very important standard precautions. Out of this, there is needle stick injury. We want to talk about occupational exposure here. Needle stick injury is only a part of it. When there is a splash of blood or any bloody fluid on a person who is treating the patient in the healthcare setup, we call it occupational hazard or occupational injury. It could include the splash, it could include cuts with sharps, it could include the needle prick. Okay, so what do you call it? There could be a percutaneous injury where you are getting a prick by the needle or cut by a sharp blade or scalpel or something like that, or there is a splash and contact with your mucous membranes. What are the mucous membranes we are talking about here? Eyes and oral cavity, oral mucosa, and even nose. Okay. Or even the non-intact skin but prolonged duration. This is very unusual, but it is included. Okay. Then what is the risk? What are the agents transmitted here? Hepatitis B, C, E virus, and other agents are also there, but mostly we fear the risk of transmission because this risk of transmission is very high in case of hepatitis B. How much is it in hepatitis C? HCV, and then 0.3% for HIV. Okay, I think I have taught you about this before. Risk factors and mode of transmission, right? Okay. Then coming to what are potentially infectious body fluids. Can you see that all these things that are there, they are either contaminated with blood or they are almost not available without any intervention. For CSF, you have to perform lumbar puncture, synovial fluid arthroscopy, then pleural tapping you have to do, peritoneal fluid. All these things are not readily available from the patient. You have to perform certain things on him, right? Then not considered potentially infectious. These are that does not have visible contamination with the blood. If they have visible contamination with the blood, these will also become potentially infectious. What are these? Feces, nasal secretions, vomitus, okay, tears, saliva, urine, sweat, all these. If there is blood, this will also become potentially infectious. So if this is even falling on you, this will also become an occupational hazard. Then factors that influence the risk of contracting infection. The volume which came in contact with you, the wide bore needles, how deep was the wound or cut, any visible blood on the device that you got injured with, okay. If the viral load of this patient was high, if you did not take any preventive measures on time, all these factors will influence the risk of transmission, okay. Then how do you prevent needle stick injuries? First is you have to follow all the standard precautions. Work surfaces are to be disinfected. All the healthcare workers have to be immunized with hepatitis B virus. Okay, spillage has to be dealt with, spill management and not to be mopped generally like we do in the hospital. Okay, do not recap the needles, do not handle the sharps without trays, and discard the generated sharp at the site of generation. This is the single scoop method. This method is right. How many of you understood what is happening here? You're not supposed to recap the needles like this. Okay. Suppose this is the cap. This cap is lying here. This is a needle. I'm holding a needle and syringe. So I will scoop it like this, and with single hand, this cap I'll close it like this if needed. Otherwise, this is not recommended. You just have to take this needle was there. You have to discard this needle in white container and go on your way.